All right, so let's start with the first one, okay? The first thing I know is that I have uncommon denominators. I can't do anything when adding and subtracting with uncommon denominators. So I have to figure out what they have the same. This one has a 4x and this one has a 6x. Just looking at numbers first, I have 4 and 6. What can 4 and 6 both go into? The number 12. If you use 24, that is fine. It's just not the lowest, which means you're going to have to simplify more than people who use 12. It doesn't mean you're wrong though, okay? So if you use 12 and they both have an x, then I can get started there. How do I get from 4x to 12x? Multiply by, so I have to multiply the top by 3, which would give me a 15x minus 9. The second side has to get from 6x to 12x. How do I get from 6x to 12x? Times 2. It's only going to work if y'all answer my questions. Times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. Question so far, where did these numbers come from? We're making it harder today, so if you don't understand this, you need to stop and ask me, okay? I can make one fraction with a 12x because my denominators are the same. So I have 15x minus 9 minus 2. So I have 15x minus 11 all over 12x. So a few questions. Can these x's cancel out? Why not? That 11 is connected to my 15x. I can't cancel it out, okay? If you use 24 instead, you would have gotten 30x minus 22 over 24x. But I can eliminate a 2 from there. Is that what you did, hopefully? Yes, yes, okay. And you would end up with the same answer. So if you did this, you would divide them all by 2, which would give me the same thing. Okay, so no matter what, you should still get the same answer. Questions on number 1. You have to find a common denominator. Okay. Number 2. My denominators are similar, but they're not the same. Which one has more things? The one on the left or the one on the right? What does it have that's extra? The 2, it's multiplying by 2. So if the one on the left is multiplying by 2, what do I have to do to the one on the right? Multiply it by 2. And if I multiply the denominator, I have to multiply the numerator. So now I can make one fraction that has the same denominator with everything in the numerator straight across. 7x plus 3 plus 4. Where did 4 come from? 2 times 2. So I have 7x plus 7 over 2 times x plus 1. This is not my answer though, because I have to simplify. 7x plus 7. What can I take out of there? What's its GCF? 7. And then I'd be left with x plus 1. And in my denominator, I still have a 2x plus 1. What can I do now? I cannot divide these by 2. 7 and 2 can't be divided by 2. I can cross out my x plus 1 because that's same over same, and so it cancels to a 1. So what would my final answer be? 7 over 2. Is that what you were saying? Oh, okay. Okay. Questions. Y'all, you have to get in a habit of be able to look at something and say, Oh, they both have a 7 in common. Oh, they can't factor anything. Oh, this one I can make an eye chart for. And I am telling you right now, if you cannot do this, you need to get out of pre-cal for next year. This is the easiest thing you're going to do in pre-cal next year, okay? So that's just a heads up. Whenever we finish this unit, if you still having trouble, you might want to go talk to your counselor about getting out of pre-cal. So here we go. We're going to do 3 examples today. That's it. And then you're going to practice some more on your own, okay? So example number 1. It's going to say 5x minus 4 over x squared minus 6x minus 7. I'm going to add 5 minus 4x all over x squared minus 6x minus 7. What's the first thing you notice about this problem? The denominators are the same, which is very good news for you. So once I know my denominators are the same, I can rewrite it, x squared minus 6x minus 7. And I can combine everything on top. I'm just going to write it straight across. 5x minus 4 plus 5 minus 4x. All I did is rewrite is 2 fractions to 1 fraction, okay? So now let's combine like terms. My denominator is going to stay the same. What am I going to have on top? What is 5x minus 4x? Is x. What is negative 4 plus 5? Anybody? 1, very good. So now here's the part where I said you got to get good at figuring out what I can do. Can I do anything with x plus 1? No. But I have an x squared minus 6x minus 7. What can I do with that? Make an eye chart. So on your paper, make me an eye chart. And let's figure out what my denominator can become. So if I made an eye chart, I have a negative 7 and a negative 6. The only thing to give me 7 is 1 and 7. How do I get a negative 6? A positive 1 and a negative 7. So I'm going to have x plus 1 and x minus 7. Now what do I notice about my problem? I can cancel out my x plus 1s because that just equals 1. So I have an x minus 7 in the denominator. And in math, if there's nothing in the numerator, what has to go there? A 1. So my final answer would be 1 over x minus 7. Questions? All right, let's go to number 2. I think most of you are going to be able to do this one on your own. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes to see if you can get started, okay? 6 over 2x squared plus 4 over 3x cubed. I want you to see if you can get started for me. Look at your numbers, look at your letters, and let's see what we think our common denominator is. So looking at a 2 and a 3, what do you think your common denominator is? A 6, thank you. My common denominator, I know, has to have a 6 in it. Now here's the part I'd pay attention to because the letters get tricky if you don't understand, okay? When I'm looking for a denominator, I can only make things bigger not smaller. I have to make it bigger. So do I need my x squared to get bigger, or do I need my x cubed to get smaller? Which one do I have to do? My x squared has to get bigger. What does my x squared have to get up to? X cubed. So it will be a 6x cubed. How do I get from 2x squared to 6x cubed? What do I multiply by? Times 3x. So I have to do that on the top, which would give me 18x. How do I get from 3x cubed to 6x cubed? Times 2. So I do that on the top. So now that I have common denominators, I can write it as one big fraction. 18x plus 8. So now I got to start asking about simplifying. Can I make an eye chart? No, no eye chart. There's not even an x squared in there. What can I do with 18x plus 8? Take out a 2. Very good. I'm going to take a 2 out. And then I'll have 9x plus 4 over 6x cubed. Can I simplify this 2 and this 6? Yes. Why? Because they are both on the outside of my parentheses. They're not attached with a plus or a minus sign. So what can 2 over 6 become? 1 over 3. And then my 9x plus 4 stays on top. So that would be my final answer. We got one more, and then I'm going to let you practice the rest of the class period. Okay? And I really need you to pay attention to this last one because I'm going to explain it the best I can. Here we go. 2 over x minus 1 minus 3 over x plus 3. And if you want a little tidbit, I promise you these will not be in parentheses. Put them in parentheses. It'll help us in a minute, okay? So what has to happen? You see how these denominators are completely different. Like they're not even close to being the same, right? Because if you tell me I can just add a number, I can't add. I can only multiply to get a common denominator, okay? So whenever I have things that are way different, I am going to make a new denominator that has both of them multiplied together. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take both of these and write them as one denominator being multiplied together. And since I have two fractions, I'm going to do it twice. Okay, everybody follow so far? Really different denominators. I'm going to put them together multiplied in a new denominator. Okay, now the easiest thing to do is to rewrite my first fraction down here. So this said 2 over x minus 1. So I'm just going to write my 2 over x minus 1. That looks like the same thing. Do you agree? What did I add to my denominator to get the new one? X plus 3. So whatever I had to add in my denominator, I have to add that piece in my numerator. Okay, so let's go look at the second fraction. I had a 3 on top, so it looked like this. 3 over x plus 3. What did I have to put in this denominator? X minus 1. So what am I going to put in the numerator? X minus 1. Okay. Now it should be a problem we know how to do. What are we going to do with this 2? Distribute. What are we going to do with this 3? Distribute. Be very careful, pay attention right now. This negative sign needs to go with this 3. So this is like a big -3. You're going to distribute a -3 to the x and a -3 to the 1. Okay? So distribute those and look up and see if we get the same thing. Once we distribute, we can combine like terms. So on your paper, combine like terms. Can a negative x plus 9 be simplified? Not really, okay? And since there's nothing to cancel or cross out, this would be my final answer. So for the next 30 minutes, I want you to continue practicing from what we did yesterday. Most people were able to get through problems 1 through 8. If you were not here yesterday, you need to start at problem number 1 because you need to make sure you know how to do the easy problems and the hard ones, okay? So if you were here yesterday, you are probably on number 9, but make sure you've done the other ones, okay? And keep working all the way through these today. If you're at home, you are in Unit 13, Topic 2, Worksheet number 1. I'll be walking around with the answer key to help and answer questions you have. Nobody needs a tablet out today. You cannot sit here and copy answers. You're not going to learn it that way.